Thank you very much. The next solidarity message is coming from the Christian Council International, our brother from Netherlands.
Yes. Thank you very much for having me here in West Africa. I thank you for this invitation. It's already my fourth participation in the Interparliamentary Conferences, also in Entebbe and now for the first time in Ghana. Before you stands a man. He's a father, 6 children, four boys, 2 girls, a Christian, and 28 years married, and it's a blessing every day. Then I have a connection with Africa because I'm here from Europe, from the Netherlands in Africa. I lived in Guinea, Conakry, for the mission for our church for a couple of times. And also after that I went to the European Parliament Foreign Affairs Committee, where I served for 7 years. And after that I was in a department related to the Foreign Affairs Ministry of the Netherlands, responsible for Kenya and Tanzania. And when I worked for these organizations in the Parliament and the EU, and also the Foreign Affairs Committee, then I saw who is actually running these organizations. And the EU, but also the UN, the UNFPA, we heard it just from Mr. Kaketo. These organizations are not run by the member states, but by the unelected bureaucratic elites from a very left liberal perspective, introducing all kinds of concepts like SRHR, comprehensive sexuality education. It has been repeated many times, and they are putting that on this continent. And then I thought, someone has to do something. Who is watching these organizations? And then I started Christian Council International as an organization, an NGO, who is critically watching and monitoring the agendas and alerting delegates from your countries in Geneva, New York, but also in Brussels, when something happens what affects your country when it comes to life, family, and freedom. And then I want to give you just one window, one look what yesterday happened in The Hague in our national parliament. And I want you to consider if you want these kinds of policies here in your continent in Africa. 1, the definition of embryos was broadened. Now also an embryo-like structure simulated from a body material from one person can be made an embryo, is an embryo, and can be put in a woman. Secondly, there was a symposium on the legalization of surrogacy. Do we want that here? Then yesterday evening, very sadly, the anti-conversion law or act on the criminalization of conversion on sexual orientation and gender identity on persons below 18 years, that was agreed on. So if one of my boys says tomorrow, I identify as a girl, and they say, wait a minute, I want to talk to you, and they want to talk with you regularly, but the school affirms that new orientation or identity, then I can end up to have a fine of 22,500 euros, or to go 1 or 2 years to prison for my own child. So that is the Netherlands, and I want you to be aware that these policies are not only reserved for the Netherlands and for Europe. They are coming to Africa. We just heard it from Brother Kaketo, from Richard. And I was ready to also say something about the Samoa Agreement. It has already been done. I've been involved in nearly all joint parliamentary ACP EU parliamentary assemblies in several cities in Africa, also in Maputo. And I remember vividly that there was the Honorable Tayepa from Uganda, and he questioned the European Commission, and he said, how can I sign a treaty which we can never domesticate? And also Honorable Ashims from Malawi, he had also a courageous attempt to get the document and to bring it first to the national parliaments of Africa, to look at it, to scrutinize it, to decide on it, because you are the representatives of your people. Not Brussels has to teach you how to implement which things. So, but the reality is that you are now, you have now a document which is signed, ratified, and yeah, it has to be implemented. So, in conclusion, I think it is a very wise decision to adopt this African Charter on Family Values and Sovereignty. You need to stand up yourself, and I hope that it will serve as a beacon of hope, not only for Africa, but also for the rest of the world, as an example, and as well as a protection for your children, families, and peoples against the pressure and ideological colonization of the West. One colonial period was enough. As a father and a dear friend of Africa, I wish you God's blessings. Unite, otherwise you will fall and be divided. God bless you.
Thank you very, very, very much, our friend.